Thinking of buying the Andaseat Dark Knight Premium? Well, stay tuned to find out if you should. Hey everyone, welcome back to Dimple Fam. Today I'm going to be doing a review of the Andaseat Dark Knight Premium that I bought 3 years ago, so it's going to be an update of how this chair has lasted over the past 3 years. The first thing we'll talk about is the build quality. After having this chair for over 3 years, none of the leather has cracked and looks like it did when I first bought it. You can see some small little indents in the seat pleather, and I blame this on me sitting with one leg on the seat or sometimes squatting on the seat. The 1 foot on the seat feels comfortable, but I definitely have no explanation for why I would squat on my chair. In terms of the seat cushion, the memory foam has held up and honestly doesn't feel like it has sunk in at all. I usually sit in the chair for 8 hours or more because of my work and have no butt pains. The seat is really wide, so it allows me to move around and even sit cross-legged if I want to. I love how comfortable this chair is, and I definitely think it's worth the money, but there are some drawbacks with having such a big chair, and I'll talk about that a little bit later on in the video. One thing I'll note is that this piece wouldn't snap in, and it actually came like this. It was a small thing, so I didn't bother to return it, and is purely cosmetic and doesn't affect the function or build of the chair. So some of the features that I really like about this chair are that you can lift and lower the armrest. They also spin in 3 directions, so inwards, middle, and then outwards. The lowest setting is pretty low and allows me to tuck the chair under my desk, whereas the highest setting is a decent height, and I often use it when I'm sitting in meetings or don't need to type. When I'm working, I usually use the inward angle since my elbows are usually flared out when I sit. Sometimes I'll revert back to the neutral position, but I'll never use the angle where the armrests are facing outwards. It looks like the adjustment on how far in or out the armrest slides is very stiff, but that was just me struggling, so don't mind that. I also had the armrest pushed all the way to the back, so it was actually digging into the chair when I tried sliding it closer to me. While the chair is really comfortable, I definitely regret not paying more attention to the recommended height. I'm 5'8" and the minimum recommended height is actually 5'9". When you sit in the chair and slouch down for a long period of time, it forces this forward head posture and I actually end up getting neck pains. This is not a fault of the chair and it does force me to sit up straight, but sometimes I'm so immersed in my work that I end up slouching subconsciously. If my neck starts to get uncomfortable, I end up removing the neck pillow and just sit without it. The problem with this though is that your shoulders conform to the curvature of the chair and then start to round forward instead of staying in line with your back. I will admit that it is more comfortable despite this, but it is something to keep in mind, especially if you are someone who has a tendency to have their shoulders rounded forward. Without the cushion, I would usually just adjust the chair to come more forward and pull my shoulders back while sitting, and it's not too bad. However, sitting like this over time will make your neck feel the effects of not having a support cushion, so I usually waffle between sitting without the cushion and putting it back on. But recently, I've been trying to fix my posture and find the cushion helps force me to do that. Speaking of putting the cushion back on, this is another gripe I have with the chair. This is a really minor thing, but there have been times where I struggled with it. Since the pillow is quite bulky, you have to hold it in place while grabbing one of the clips and threading it through the hole. While holding the entire weight of the pillow with the clip you just threaded, you have to reach through the other hole to try and grab the other clip. When I first got the chair, I definitely dropped the cushion a bunch of times and had a tough time clipping it on. The other feature I love about this chair is the full recline. I've taken many naps in this chair and it's a feature I never knew would be so handy. It works so great when I want to take a break and just close my eyes for a bit without having to leave my desk. However, napping in this chair can also be painful, as I will usually wake up with knee pains or neck pains. Since I'm too short for the chair, I usually have to scoot up to ensure my head is resting properly on the pillow and my neck is on the groove that is meant to support it. To make it worse, I usually have the chair on the tallest setting because my desk is too tall, so my feet are usually dangling in the air. If I keep my feet on the ground, my head ends up resting on the neck portion of the pillow and I wake up with neck pains. Aligning my neck and head properly means that my legs are dangling and then causes strain on my knees. I found that the best way to compromise is to just lift my legs up onto the chair and sit cross-legged. It's nice that this seat is so big to allow me to do that, but I would only recommend short naps on this chair and not anything longer than 30 minutes. When reclining back up, one thing to be careful about is that it will spring back very quickly and the handle won't lock back into place until you push back on the chair a bit. I wasn't sure if this would ruin the chair, so I've always reclined back slowly. Alright, so those are my honest thoughts about this chair that I've had for 3 years. Now, I do have no problems with it every single day. It's just a little bit of the annoyances, but I hope that was helpful. And if you like this type of content, please don't forget to give us a like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos.